Can You Relate with Kathy Dawson is presented by CK Media Productions.
Hi everyone, I'm Kathy Dawson. Welcome to Can You Relate, Cleveland's relationship show. This show is designed for you to help you with all of your relationships, whether that has to do with you and your spouse, you and your kids, you and your in-laws, you and your coworkers, you name it. We're here to help you. So we have a big show today. I want to start though kind of describing to you what I do, because you've been seeing me now for a few weeks and you may be wondering, why is she hosting this show? I'm hosting this show because I'm a relationship coach, and I want to tell you a little bit about what coaching actually is. Many times people think of coaching having to do with sports, which of course it does, but in relationship coaching what I do is I help couples and individuals learn to be accountable to themselves and to each other. And when a couple comes into my office, I often say, imagine you have a figurative tool bag sitting here. Over the course of the next few weeks, I'm going to be teaching you many different tools that you can use in your life. So when you tune into this show, it actually is in many cases like you're being coached by me. So we have lots of things coming up. We have health, money, fitness, and much more. But we're going to start the show asking the question, when you're sick, would you ever consider alternative health care? I have someone here who's going to tell us more about that, so come with me. So when you're sick, do you ever think about what kind of health care you'd like? Do you want conventional health care? Do you want alternative health care? Do you know the difference? We have someone here, Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, who is the director of Tenpenny Integrative Medical Center. Welcome to the show as always. It's so good to have you. So we're going to talk about the difference between alternative and conventional health care. What's the definition of alternative?
Well, alternative really has a, that word is actually kind of even falling out of favor, because it used to imply such an either-or. Either you went to your conventional doctor and you had surgery or drugs or chemotherapy or got a medication, or you went to the acupuncturist, the chiropractor, and you did alternative things and they didn't really meet. And now that has sort of morphed into something called integrative medicine, which means that doctors who practice integrative medicine use a little bit of each. They use diagnostics from conventional medicine. They can write prescriptions when they need to. They use vitamins and herbs and supplements and homeopathy and manual medicine, and so there are a lot of tools in an integrative medicine toolbox.
Now, is this a standard kind of thing you're going to see, or do you have to go to an integrative center?
Mostly you have to go to an integrative center. Now, there are a lot of independent practitioners out there. I mean, there are nutritionists and acupuncturists and people that do Reiki and holistic healing, but sometimes you can go to a center where you can have access to all of those all at the same time.
And is your center's one of those?
My center's one of those.
Okay, that's what I figured. Great.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more specifically about alternative. What kinds of things can we expect if we come to you?
Well, I think that a lot of it is that it's just like conventional medicine, that you go to the doctor, they take a history, they do a physical exam, but they look at the underlying problems. I like to think about the underlying issues of integrative medicine, kind of like looking for what's missing, what caused something. If you have a vitamin or a nutrient that are missing, things will go on for a while that puts a real strain on your body. It's like driving your car around missing 3 spark plugs and 2 quarts of oil. You know, eventually that puts a real strain on the engine. A red light comes on, which is a warning sign, which in the body would be a symptom. Conventional medicine would try to suppress that symptom. What we do is to try to find out what caused that symptom and get rid of that.
Makes so much sense.
It does.
And what kinds of tests would I expect to have if I wanted to have like a workup of this kind of thing?
We do regular blood tests like your regular doctor would, but there's also some very specialized testing that we do that look for vitamins and minerals and nutrients that are missing. There are urine tests. We use breast thermography. We use infrared thermography that looks at the health of your breasts. There are all kinds of types of tests that really aren't generally used in conventional medicine because they're called functional medicine tests, meaning that they're looking for the underlying problem.
Don't you have a saliva test? Isn't that one of them?
There's a saliva test that assesses your adrenals. There's a saliva test for hormones. There's all kinds of different things like that.
I'm liking this.
You're liking this?
Yeah, because you're not poking me with anything.
That's good.
So, is this kind of stuff covered by health insurance?
You know, surprisingly enough, it is.
Really?
That a lot of it is covered by health insurance. Many of the companies that we use for blood, urine, and saliva tests will bill your insurance directly. A lot of the office visit portions of a visit that you would go to an integrative center, those are billed out to insurance. Okay. So surprisingly, I would say that many times you have to pay your money up front, but then you'll be reimbursed for your insurance by anywhere from 30 to 80%.
That's terrific. This is such good information. So if you think you're at a place in your life where you want to consider something other than conventional medicine, you might want to get a hold of Dr. Tenpenny, and you can do that by calling her at 440-239-3438 or log on to her website at tenpennyimc.com. As always, great information.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you so much.
We'll see you next time.
Okay, thanks.
And we'll be up next after this commercial break.
Up next, is your body out of sorts? We'll introduce you to a fitness trainer who can sort out the messages your muscles are sending you. And later in the show, your relationship with your money can be taxing. We'll help you ease the strain by adding up what you should be doing, tax-wise, before the end of the year.
Craig and Mark Lindahl and Grange Insurance understand that life is a series of brushstrokes, large and small. Moments from the everyday to the extraordinary. As you move through your world, let Grange Insurance and Lindahl Insurance put the finishing touches on an insurance plan to meet your needs. Having Lindahl Insurance and Grange handle your insurance while you stay in the moment. Now that's a stroke of genius.
So, is your body trying to get your attention? Is there a pull here, a tug there? It's really talking to you. We have somebody here, Joel Woods, with Integrity Fitness, who is going to talk to us about what to do when your body nudges and pulls you. Welcome to the show.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
You're a real body person. I know you're biomechanics, right?
I love that stuff.
Right,
it's so
great.
Interesting to me.
So tell me about that. I mean, we have aches. You know me, I have this pulled, I've been talking to him about this. I have this pulled hamstring. You know, what do you do when your body's talking to you like that? Do you stretch?
That's a great question. You know, we think of stretching and exercising in terms to help these things. And I think being a fitness guy, the whole point of health and wellness and fitness is to help us become a better version of ourselves. We need exercise to do that. And it's really tough to do that if you have a sore hamstring or aches or pains. It's not fun.
Well, we'll have another show for that. All right.
But sometimes the exercise can be a double-edged sword. It can help some people. The same exercise maybe would hurt somebody else. So.
Right. So what specific things, just in general, if nobody has a real ache or pain but they want to prevent that, what kinds of things can you tell them to do?
That's a great question. I think what we need to do is work on mobility. There's definitely a link between how mobile we are and how healthy and how vibrant we are.
Now, as you age, and I'm 53, and already things are starting to dry up, there are certain things you need to do to stay flexible and mobile. So I'm taking notes.
I like it, yeah.
Yeah,
that's kind of the idea. You're listening,
it really is. The older you get like the Tin Man. You know, I mean, it's really
Which isn't fun, yeah. That's not cool, yeah.
Okay, so give me a couple things.
So a couple things. The first thing is the mindset and the intention. I think a lot of times we think about stretching stuff. In our mind, we think of a muscle, and we think about stretching it and lengthening it, and we think that's what we need.
Right.
I have a little different paradigm shift here.
Okay.
I want to think about how well you can move, not just how far you can move your body. So in order to do that, we need to do some drills. So I want to replace the term stretching with mobility training.
Okay, so give me 2 drills.
Let's give you 2 drills. Let's start with one for the upper body.
All right.
And we're going to do something for the shoulders here. And we're going to do this because in life, sometimes we're going to have to reach for things. We're going to need the mobility to do that.
Right.
And we want to prepare our body to do that so we can handle it. So we're going to start with a really simple thing.
Okay.
You're going to stay here.
Am I facing you?
You're right there.
I'm here.
Stay right there.
Okay.
That'd be great. What we're going to do is, first of all, not move anything. Look straight ahead. We're going to take this arm right here. You're going to lock your elbow.
Okay.
And
Ow.
Ooh, uh-oh.
We'll talk later.
We'll talk later.
Okay.
So the goal here is to not stretch the arm, but see how far and how well you can take your arm with your thumb up, and how far can you go without moving anything besides your arm.
This is like mime.
You gotta be aware. So this is more about how intelligently Coach Kathy can move. Keep that elbow locked and bring it back down.
Okay.
Slowly and controlled. So you can
Without moving anything else.
That's the hard part. So we have to be present. We have to be aware of what's going on in our body.
And so this, instead of stretching, this is helping us with flexibility, right?
Flexibility and mobility.
Repetitive movement.
And
just practicing.
So practicing is a big point. We want to practice moving our bodies.
Okay.
And being a coach myself, I think about, I used to coach high school football, and one of my favorite sayings was, practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect.
Oh.
So we want to do the little things. My favorite saying is the magic is in the details.
Okay.
So keep that elbow locked.
Do you have another quick one? And I mean quick one.
Here we go.
Okay.
So start with our legs. We're going to bend your knees far.
I'm glad I don't have to do that.
Bend your knee 90 degrees. Good. Now stay there in balance.
Oh, yeah, right.
We're testing it now. Lift your knee up as high as you can, but don't move your back.
Okay.
And now bring it backwards as far as you can, but don't move your back. And
You're going to
testing
spot
it
me,
here.
right?
I gotcha. And bring it back and
I
relax.
think I need some balancing work. What do you
We're
think?
going to have to work on that a little bit, Kathy.
No, but this whole concept makes sense.
Yes, it's a
so it's
concept.
not about stretching to the point where you can't stretch anymore.
Right.
Meanwhile, you're ripping yourself up. It's
Right.
really about concentrated movements.
That's it.
Thank
Couldn't
you
say
so
it better
much.
myself.
Thanks
so much.
So we're all getting older. This is really important information. If you want to get a hold of Joel Woods, you can at Integrity Fitness by calling him at 440-506-3088. Thanks again.
Thanks, Coach.
Coming up next is Rate Your Relationship.
Love is a funny thing. According to author Dr. Gary Chapman, it comes in different languages. What language do you love in? Do you most often love with words of affirmation, otherwise known as compliments and I love yous? Quality time, spending real time with the one you love. Acts of service, doing things for your mate. Physical touch, a kiss, a hug, holding hands, or material gifts, a card, some flowers, maybe a box from Tiffany's? The real question is there a right or wrong way to love? Listen to what Coach Kathy has to say.
So, guess what? You can't flunk this survey. There is no right or wrong. What I love about this, though, is it divides loving into 5 different categories. Personally, my love language is words of affirmation. And I throw in physical touch. So if I know you and I love you, it's kind of like, I love you and I'm all over you. Okay, that's me. My husband is acts of service. He's constantly doing things for me. So it's really interesting. If you want to learn more about this, you can get the book by Dr. Gary Chapman called The 5 Love Languages and try to figure out what your predominant love language is and what your partner's is. And you can even take it so far as to try to figure out what your kids' love languages are. So if you think you want to take this survey or future surveys, you want to tune in to the show, obviously, but then go to the website at canyourelatetv.com. Stay tuned. We'll have more of the show coming up.
Just ahead, 2010 is coming to a close. We'll advise you on closing out your finances so you and your money can have a fresh start in the new year. And later, when your loved one is ill, you also need some tender, loving care. We'll find out who can help you cope while your mate recuperates.